Grandma, what did Grandma lose?
Well, she stored, like, each year, when she'd, in the fall would come, she'd go through and cut the flowers off and save the seeds. Those had gone to seed and just take the stalks and hang
It'd
them.
be the zinnias and what else?
Zinnias and petunias.
Cosmos.
And cosmos. And
Did she have petunias too?
well, there wasn't too many petunias, but there's a whole bunch of them. And then she did the same thing with the vegetables.
This would be the early flowers likely she was saving.
Yeah, and she just saved them up there, and then when the spring came, she'd just come down and put them in like a box and hammer them, and the seeds would all fall off. Then she had her flower seed for next year, and then she'd go and sow it in the garden.
She was a great manager.
All
Great
kinds of
manager.
things. And
She
she had
saved
everything, like
And the seeds, the beans, the broad beans,
broad beans and the white
tomatoes.
beans.
Right.
Well, yeah, tomatoes. Some tomatoes she used to have, Bonnie Best she would do, but then she'd always buy some new variety each year. Somebody'd come up with a different variety of this type of thing, and she'd buy some new stuff in the store too. And peas and all
She
that.
had great gardens. How large were they?
Well, you know, where the driveway was, and then there was that short space down to where you used to go down the lane and then go back.
Yeah.
Well, that was the garden in there, and it would be 50 feet wide. And that whole length was all.
So where was the garden? So you had the lane going down. You had the house on one side. You had the well on the other.
Just south of the house.
It's on the well side.
On the well side. Okay.
Well side going out.
Oh, okay.
To the south, and there used to be a fence when you come down the driveway lane here and went in the barn there. This fence used to go straight across, and that was the end of it.
Oh, okay.
So they'd run it down that way. But what they would do is they'd never have the same place 2 years in a row. They'd have it here, and then move it over and move it over, and then go back here, and
Right.
Yeah.
get away from the weeds.
Right. Oh, okay.
Oh yes, and it was weedless, I'm sure. I didn't know it at that time, but well, she still had a good garden when I got to know her. Yeah.
She grew
Maybe-
all her own stuff.
Maybe you should take a minute to tell about that building that was along the lane there before it turned toward the back.
Well,
of the
just
farm.
before that, so Grandma lost all those things,
That
Yeah.
year.
and what else did you lose in that fire?
Oh, well, dishes, I suppose, and
Well, they got
furniture.
all the they got all the
Like the
furniture out of the front part.
Right. Okay.
The front part, and even got the old stove out of the. You see, in the summer kitchen was an old stove, old stove, and then that was the back one. Then the next room, Dad and Mom had bought just a brand new, more efficient wood burning stove,
Right.
with a reservoir for hot water in the back and the latest and the whole works.
Right.
Then that was in there, and of course that
They
was
saved
here.
that, did
They saved that
They
one.
saved that.
It's all they got. Once they got there, and the way it was laid out is they'd saved everything from, say, the woodshed through.
Right.
And
Except the building itself.
except the building itself,
Right.
yeah. And
So was the back kitchen built at the same time as the front of the house? So when was the house built?
1867.
1867, I think, if I remember correctly, and I wanted to get that stone, but I never got it. I think it was August the 7th on the end. Right up there at the bottom top.
Right.
Because we were married August the 8th.
Right.
Somewhere in that
But
time.
not 1867.
No, not 1867.
So why didn't Grandpa rebuild?
Didn't have the money. They had a fire insurance policy,
Right.
but it wasn't near enough.
That's the trouble with fire insurance policies, you know. You
They
don't
didn't-
realize how much you
And they,
really have in there until you go to replace it.
And I don't know, well, the thing is, all right, it came down, they saved all the bricks, and I remember there was your kitchen down to here, and for a long, long time after the fire, was it the kitchen floor was still in there.
Right.
They saved the kitchen floor. And they used to come in from the barn and walk over that to get into the back of the house for years and years and years until, Kay got married.
You know, I think I hurt my finger.
And when the year Kay got married, which was the year after we did, all right, that's when they built the stoop.
Right.
Stoop on the back
The
of
big cement thing that's there now.
I did that.
Right.
I built
Yeah,
that
Mary
and
did
the
that.
steps.
Okay.
And the steps. Cut a hole through, and then we just tore all the rest off and filled it in for the wedding. Basically, that was it. But I was the guy that did that. And down in underneath all that stuff, we just took the foundation down so far.
Just down so far to get the grass on top of
On
it. So
top
the
of it.
foundation is still there.
Still there, unless they plowed it up when they got down too deep and they were plowing. Just plowed that all up.
Because the house is all gone.
Is the house gone now?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it's all
yes.
gone.
has
When
been
we
for a
sold
long
it, when
time.
we sold the farm that way.
Oh shoot, I didn't know that.
So
Well,
anyway, that's,
I'm glad I
that's
haven't been there.
basically what happened to that.
Well, we have some good pictures of
But
it.
you
If
see-
you want a picture, we could give you
Oh
that.
yeah, no, I've got a picture of the house. I've got that family picture, you know, where they posed in front of the back kitchen.
Yes, that's the
Right,
picture
that's
we're
the
talking
picture.
about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was well, Grandpa made, Joe and Clara, that was my grandfather.
We sold that. We sold the farm for Kay, didn't we? For Marion. Wasn't she the one who needed that?
Oh yes.
The
Well,
farm
no,
sold?
not for her, but she wanted it. She didn't want.
She wanted the farm sold.
She
Now,
wanted the farm sold.
I look at it now, I should have bought it. I mean, we got $5,000 an acre
Yeah.
for the 125 acres,
Yeah. Not bad.
split up on it. But right now, they're 7,000 an acre.
How the hell do you make money farming at $7,000 an acre?
They don't. The only way is as a real estate thing. Well, let's put it this way. I heard the other day where a guy sold a farm for $2 million. Well, you stop and figure it out. You got 100 acres,
Yeah.
for 7,000 an acre.
Yeah.
And then you got another 100 behind it, 200 acres.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get the $1 million.
No, it's not. No.
And that's what the farms are worth up there.
But for real estate, what real estate? I mean, nobody's going to live up there.
Oh, no, it's all done for that purpose. See, what people are doing is grabbing land. There's an investment hanging on to it. Well, when I was in the brokerage business, this is when I learned that. I had this client, and her and his wife was part of an old British trust. And they owned a big chunk of downtown London. But they owned the land, not the building. Got leased off all the time.
Right.
Can you imagine? And how many generations are, and how much she got, and how many was spread out. Like
Oh, yeah.
this family here, it's here, and then it's out like way out like this, and it's what 200 years later. Can you imagine?
Yeah, although if you look at the actual value of it and its appreciation, I wonder if it's more than 5% a year.
Well, all I know is that whatever it is, and I don't know how many. All I know is I ran into a client of mine, and his wife was McLaughlin Buick people in Oshawa.
Right.
And she was getting a huge pension, or not pension off it, but an income off that thing then,
Right.
off their estate here in Canada.
Right.
And she'd be, I'd say 4th generation away.
Right. Right.
But this lady in London, England, they won't sell the land. You see, in London, England, so what they're doing over there now, the guy that bought our place is just grabbing the land.
Yeah.
And he's bought, I don't know, 6 or 7 farms around there, and he has no intention of selling it.
And of course, he gets rid of the buildings, so there's no tax hardly to pay. There's no tax on
Well, what I
buildings.
was going to do was,
But at $500,000 a piece, he's putting up $3 million for 6 farms, for 100 acres of farm.
oh yeah, but I mean, if you got the money, it's going to be well worth it. I mean, land is something that's not going to disappear. There's not going to be any more of it.
No. No.
And this is why these people buy it,
Yeah.
for perpetuity. Passing generation to generation to generation, as long as you got the income coming off it. Even though it isn't that big, but what's your expense other than the taxes? Take for an example, you put $500,000 out. If you put $500,000 with a mutual fund, people, and see what it'll cost you.
That's a joke, yeah.
Well, all he's going to have a year, he gets a rent check once or twice a year from the farmer, and he pays his taxes.
Right.
How much bookkeepers do you need?
No, that's true.
You don't have the expense, so you can get away with a lot of the costs.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, and I was looking at it, I was dealing with Kay and Ross on it. I wanted Kay to come in with me, supply some of the money, and I'd buy her out. Well, I was more trying to make a deal with them.
Right.
See, I got 30% of the farm.
Right.
When it was all cleared up. Doug and I got 30, and the 2 girls got 40.
Right.
Or 20 each. That's the way it was split. And I think Kay was a little mad at it, but anyway, but I was talking to Ross and this type of thing is, and I was trying to get, okay, if I buy this, I'll just leave my portion of it there as down payment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do I need to carry the rest of it? Buy it. And when I figured the whole thing out and all the rest of it, I wasn't coming out with enough money. I was going to keep the old house
Right.
and work on it, and the whole farm. And then when I figured it out, I needed about $140 to $150 a year on
An acre.
an acre. And with the rent off the house, I could have left the rent off the house each year to plowed back into the house to replenish it
Yeah.
in that area. So that's what
But then
I.
you'd have been paying taxes on the house.
Well, all right, that's another story.
You know,
But on the other hand, so that's what we were going to do. But I was coming up short. I was going to have to shovel in more money a year
Right.
to hang on to it. But what I didn't know, the price of rent went up, and I could have got more than $140 an acre. I'd have come out ahead.
Right.
And all I had to do was do it.
Right.
But I didn't know too late.
But then you'd have had to boost Alan out, wouldn't you? Maybe.
Well, yeah, I had to get rid of Alan because he wouldn't want to pay enough
You
thing,
know,
but that wasn't the
so-
point as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
So that's what happened in that area. See, Alan never paid a lot of rent
Right.
because Dad's wish was that since it was him, do not charge him market rates,
Right. Yep.
and which was understandable.
That's cool. Yep.
Yeah, and it's given Alan a bit of a start, and he probably will meet it, you know.
Yeah. So that's
He's working
the whole
very hard.
the whole story
What was
behind
that?
it. Blow bulb.
Anyway,
Anyway,
that one over there.
That one.
yeah. Anyway,
Flash. Where's that coming from?
so that's what I was going to do.
Hmm.
Now it would have tightened us up a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of things like the income, some of the income you see that I'm getting coming in now is coming off that estate. So if I find about it at that time, and I'm sure it would have been paying off well now. Oh, you wouldn't have got rich on the thing is, but you could have. What I was going to do was put in my grandson's names
Right.
in trust.
Right.
With the deal is that, all right, if one of them wants out, the other four buy them out.
Right. Right.
And one that wants it, gets it in the end.
Yeah.
So, but that's, look back at it.
So. Also, that's why it never got rebuilt. That must have been a pretty massive reconfiguration of the household then.
Oh, yes.
What, the time of the fire?
Yeah.
It was extremely hard on your mum.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Of course, we still had 4 bedrooms upstairs.
Right, but she would have had to deal with the loss of her.
and her dad.
Well, this is exactly it, you see. And then,
She had to
and
deal
then
with that.
all right, they had 2 doors, like you used to come out, 2 doors going out the house here into the kitchen, there and there.
Yeah.
Well, eventually we closed this one up and came in through the way you used to do it, and into the kitchen. And I cut all that stuff. So good God,
Yeah.
when I was, well, this happened when I was 9 years old. And when you went up the fireplace, they bricked up off the old kitchen. It used to come off the kitchen this way and go upstairs this way and then down the bedrooms.
Right.
Well, in here, you come through here to the living room, down here, there was a closet here at the back of the stairs, so we just cut through there and went up the steps. Upstairs, that's what the big change was when we remodeled it. So that's all there was to that, to get it in operation. But that brick wall was there, where the door was that went into the kitchen was there, the
Yeah.
bricks were up there, and now those walls were 3 bricks thick.
Right.
So when they bricked it up 3 bricks till the staircase where it went up, and then they left 1 square out and took the rest up 2. And it was like that from the age I was 9 to 16. When I was 16, I said to Dad, well, why don't we brick this up? And he said, so I
Brick
said,
are hard.
well, put sheetrock over it.
Yeah.
Cover it up, cut it off. So with that, I undertook to do that whole wall, from the south wall at the behind the door, on up the staircase, right up to the wall that came down here past the bathroom, and I put in 1 by 2, nailed it to the brick surface, and used vapor, that aluminum foil vapor barrier. We didn't have the plastic then.
Right.
and just strung it along the wall, and then put the sheetrock in front of it.
Right.
And that's the way that wall was done, right straight through there. And I did it when I was 16 years of age. I did it my first. Dad would help me, but he didn't initiate it. I did it.
Murray was the initiator.
All the way through, and I literally went through the whole house and did it.
He was always the instigator, and you even fixed up. You remember that storeroom Grandma had up there? Nobody could get into it. It was
The one up in the northwest?
Yeah.
northwest.
Yes,
Yeah.
that sort of lower, little low
Storage.
roof, bend roof.
Yeah.
Of course, all the houses that went
Yeah.
this way. That's why
Yeah.
they called it storing a half. You see, you'd come up so high instead of going up the full two height.
Right.
You'd slope it this way, so you didn't have to build a square two stories high house. You put
Right.
down the bricks. You see. Well, then that you had part of the room on the, like this. You just
Yeah.
there's that metal roofing on the inside there. When you-
Yep.
And all-
With
all
all
the-
the designs on
The,
it.
the tin, the pressed
Yeah,
tin.
and it's around now in.
Oh yeah, it's making a big comeback.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when that was done, well then I insulated all that stuff. I did all of it. I put the electricity in.
When you were
Before I-
16.
16 to 20, and then I went to city. Used to come back and do that.
He's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and the front veranda that was on the front,
Yeah.
it got so rickety that it had to come off, and that was
When I built
Murray
the
doing that again. Yeah. And then the house had to be painted. The windows should be painted. So when Sherry was in university, you know, as the
She was with
student
College pro or whatever.
college
Pro.
pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hired her.
Well, yeah, we hired her to come, and we all helped, and
Bill painted the place.
and
Right.
painted the. And then your dad got the storm windows to go over the front. Those
Yeah.
what do you call them? Lights that go around the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And you got that to. That's about the first time I ever saw one of those fancy windows covered so that it was insulated. From,
Right.
Yeah, we put them on the inside, you see.
Yeah. So
So it sounds like the May house kind of peaked in 1867 and then just kind of slowly slid after that.
Well, it slowly slid until Dad took it over. Grandpa kept it up. My grandfather, Joe.
Thomas. Oh, your
Yeah.
your grandfather Joe. Okay.
Thomas built the house.
Right.
That's like the second generation built it.
Right.
The first house was built by William. It was down in the front field, almost, you know where Flynn's place is?
Yeah.
Well, okay, it was in the front field, but down towards where our trailer was, about halfway between there and the trailer. That's where
Okay.
the first log house was built.
Okay.
Then they built it up where it is now. Or it
Oh,
was
okay.
one
yeah.
then.
Wasn't
And
it? Yeah.
remember when they were building it, Grandpa said that they used to have to be careful of wolves. Now they were living away, or was it bears?
Oh, when they built the log house. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were living toward Exeter then.
They lived north, there's the farm here.
Mhm.
And then, all right, then there's a place, the Kerslick place, the other Kerslick place, and then there's a creek
Mhm.
on the north side of that. Well, down on the creek, right there. In 1831, William May's brother came to Canada from Exeter, in England area, there, and gone up, was in town, and he built a shack on the creek because that was fresh water. See, that's what they wanted, was fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Mays came from England, the first year, now they got here, on June the 7th, 1828. No, sorry, 1832.
Mhm.
Now, it's too late to put this year's crop in.
In June. Yep.
You've got 200 acres of land there,
Mhm.
because it went from the front right through to the next concession. You had the whole 200 acres there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All bush.
our farm never did.
Right.
It was all bush. And all you've got is yourself, your wife, and 2 small kids. There are no neighbors. There's a few people living in Exeter.
Yeah, it's
And
June.
that's it in June.
Wow.
And all they had was a pair of oxen. They didn't have horses in those days. So he had to start clearing the land all by himself. figured out the amount of work that he did, and he got enough land cleared off the first year. Just put some by hand amongst the stumps, fall wheat, the soil in there. So we had a bushel of wheat the next year, carried on his back to Godreach, had it ground and brought back
For flour in the house,
For the
in the
winter.
kitchen, wasn't it?
for the winter.
Yeah.
So he arrived in June. He cleared as much land as he could. He got a bushel of wheat planted that fall.
Well, he
Yeah.
planted enough amongst
That's all.
Amongst
Fall
the
wheat.
stumps. Fall
That'd
wheat.
be among the stumps.
So he had
'cause
to
you-
buy that someplace where we got it probably.
Right. But he managed to
Yeah,
get it into
they-
the ground. And then the next sort of summer, he harvested that, put it
By-
on his back.
Yeah, with a scythe and thrashed it by a flail.
Oh, jeez.
Imagine. So the one thing that kind of kept him alive in those days, there was a whole pile of beech nuts around there, trees.
Right.
Well, I don't think they did to me, I'm not too sure of that, but a little later on, 2 or 3 years later, they had so many beech nuts, they scooped them up with the shovels and put them into wagons. Then the wagon people would go down on Rosal Range, down to Devon Corner,
Yeah.
and they would stay there overnight, and then the next day a whole body of them went to London with their wagons, all full of beech nuts to sale, to get money to come back. And they used to use them as food down in that time.
And beech nuts are good. They're awfully hard to get into. They're sort of a three-cornered thing, like a tricorn hat, I guess you might say.
Chewing gum, I remember that.
Yeah, well that's
Oh,
what
yeah, I'm
that's
not
where
sure.
they made their first money. But then you see, now up here where they had their little small, well it was about, it wasn't much bigger than an outside privy
Yeah.
where they lived in, but about that big. I don't know maybe how big it was that what this fellow Bockwell made, and the Indians actually got them through.
Oh, is that right?
Furs for the first winter to wear to keep them warm,
Oh,
and their
jeez.
food and all that stuff.
And then the big thing was having greens during, or you would get scurvy, I believe
Yeah.
it was, you see.
Mhm.
And so the Indians knew how to do that. They would, I guess, use evergreen and
Right.
make tea out of it.
Mhm.
And you would get that, and that would save you from that dreaded disease because
Right.
it was, and so
Well,
that helped the white people.
Yeah, and that's how they got through the first winters. Imagine, oh man, stop and think about it for a minute.
No wonder some of the men would go become drunkards.
See,
Stress.
alcohol in that area
Yeah.
was just got to be a real problem. And that's when they brought in the Temperance Act to stop it,
Mm-hmm.
get them back on track. But it was, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
So William had a brother then.
No, he was the only one.
Well, who was the one you said who set up the shack in that creek?
Well, his brother-in-law.
Oh, his brother-in-law.
Bockwell.
Okay, the Ball. Oh, okay, Bockwell.
See, he married a Bockwell first.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Who did your?
William.
Well, he married
okay.
Elizabeth.
Did he marry a Bockwell or a Yellen?
He married a Yellen first, Chastity. She died.
Yeah, well, she died before she came to Canada.
That's right.
And then to Bockwell, but it was the, he married the sister of Bockwell. Bockwell came over first, built it, and then he came over and went back to England, but he didn't come back until 1833, 34, about 2 years later, and went to Exeter and stayed in there. They were up in Exeter, but he didn't farm.
Okay.
So that's the story on that particular part of it. And then
And then what was in your orchard? Remember the Donnellys?
the Donnellys were,
This is
we'll see, 50 years later.
right, the Lucan
18
Donnellys.
The Lucan
Yeah,
Donnellys.
1870s,
Yeah.
1880s, somewhere along in the 1860s, 1880s.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think around 1868. Well, by this time, you see, Thomas had grown up. See, he was born in 1828, so he's
Right.
4 years old when he came here, and his sister was 4 years older. She was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then William started there, and then Thomas took over. I've got his dates of birth by heart. Well, then he got married. Of course, they all lived in that.
Log cabin.
Yeah. Now they were in the log cabin at that point. Well, you see, Grandpa, my grandfather, was born in the log cabin,
Mm-hmm.
and he was 8 when they built the house that we were raised in.
Right.
Thomas built that. Now, I'm not sure when William died, but I think he was somewhere around in there. So that's basically the story of the house and what happened and what was burnt, built where.
But what was that up in the orchard?
All right, now come back to that. All right, Thomas then was farming the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they started these stagecoach to come and bring the mail through,
Mm-hmm.
and passengers and all the rest of it. And they used to come from London and go through to Godrich, and it
Right.
was a real business because there was no other transportation.
Right.
So, then Thomas had the farm. His sister Elizabeth married an Evans. So they built a small house in the orchard at that time, and I would imagine it's probably a log cabin type thing, because the brick house wasn't built until a fair number of time afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, and at the back, they had these sheds where the horses used to come in. The mail would go through, and then they'd bring a team of 4 horses in here, and then there were 4 more ready to go on to the next one, and that's how they'd run the horses as much as they could,
Right.
leave them over, and then the person there, which in this case was Evans,
Right.
would feed the horses, get them in shape, and have them in ready when the stagecoach came back with the mail,
Right.
and they'd gone down. Now they were so many miles apart.
Right.
Now, all right, then in the 1860s, I think it was, then whenever it was, the Donnellys got that stagecoach going from London to Godrich.
Right.
And of course, they used to pull in there.
Mm-hmm.
They exchanged the horses. Well, my grandfather used to go up and help them switch teams and take the harnesses off and all this type of thing when he was a boy. He knew the Donnellys.
Okay.
And then when the train come through, trains went up there. Of course, that was the end of the stagecoach.
Yeah.
So that was torn down. The house was torn down, and then the part was the open shed.
Right.
That was moved from up here down to that location.
Which location?
There, beside the barn. Remember, you used to go around into the barnyard, and there was this. Well, that was it was a chicken shed, I guess, at that time.
Because it used to be sort of a U shape. You have the barn, you had the chicken barn and the drive shed on one side, and you had a second barn
On the east side.
on the. Is it the east side?
Well, you
it
had
was
the
east
garage.
side. You're
had
right.
a
It
car,
was the east
car
side.
here.
Right.
And then there was a barn here.
Yeah.
And then there was a barn that way and that way. Well, this one here.
The last one. They ended up being a chicken barn, sort of divorced
Yeah.
from the rest of them.
Yeah, well, that was brought down from the
So that was the old stage barn.
part of it. Yeah, well, that was only part of it.
Oh, okay. And that
Yeah.
became the chicken barn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So all these farms where you see these odd buildings sitting around, they
Right.
probably have a real story behind
Right,
them.
right. And all those barns, all those structures are now gone, I presume. They
Everything's
just
gone.
leveled
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah. Well, that.
We leveled it before that.
Some of those were gone.
Well, yeah, I
yeah.
remember a few of those
Yeah.
structures.
Yeah, I took them on the old open shed. Always called the open shed down.
And we got bricks for the kitchen, the new kitchen we put on, from your
The barn.
barn.
Well, from the barn.
They
The last edition was from the barn up there. I bought
Yeah.
how many thousand brick,
I don't know.
and then I sold.
Oh yeah, right. You did
And
some.
I got about 15,000 brick.
Right.
I'd saved. Got out of the barn, and they cleaned them up and put them in there, and I had to put them in the chicken shed and got them out.
That's not an easy task
Okay.
either. Looking after brick
But
after
anyway,
you buy it.
What happened was those, then I didn't need the brick. I had these 10,000 brick, and what am I going to do? And the farm was sold. So I had to get rid of them. So I went up to the guy in Clinton, and he bought them all for 25 cents a piece.
Hmm.
Jeez.
And they were lovely bricks.
Lovely bricks.
so
And
we
I paid 10 for them.
Yeah. So
You did okay.
I did all right.
yeah, yeah. And so we have.
I got them on my house free.
Right.
Just, are we through now, do you think, for a while?
Mhm.
I can't think of anything more about your background. Anyway, I'll go back to the car, the 35 Ford. Along about 19, well, let's see, I went in there in 51, I guess it was a year or so later, that the city started having these examinations of cars, old cars,
Right.
and they would be taken off the road. And so we got 35 Ford out of the city in time.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And so we didn't have to fix it up. But I guess, I forget who we sold it to after that. We didn't
Well,
take
no,
it to...
it went into the dealer, your dad.
Oh yeah, then we bought, right. So we had to have a car.
Mhm.
And of course, I always said that when your dad, that was why he married me, not for my money, but he knew if I could handle that 35 Ford, I could handle anything, didn't you?
Yeah.
So anyway, came time we wanted a car, and Dad said he would
He had
help
a
us.
truck.
He'd back us.
Yeah, he had a truck.
Right.
It was a ton, was it 1 ton pickup?
It was a bigger
Yeah.
truck than an ordinary.
I
half
used to
ton.
drive it into the city. Oh, one more thing about this old car. The speedometer stopped working.
Right.
And I drove into the city one Friday night, and I dropped Murray off at his boarding house at 1 Horn Street.
Right.
And I started for Ashland Avenue, and that was quite a distance. And I guess I was a little bit afraid, so I was going along, and then I noticed
Down
in
York
my
Street.
rear vision, in my rear mirror, that there was a car following me. And I thought, oh no. So of course I started to speed up a bit, and I had no idea how fast I was going because the speedometer didn't work. Finally I got up and got home and drove in the driveway, and the car was still with me, and he pulled in behind me, and it was a police officer. And I said and at first I thought it was my cousin Ken Pringle, that he recognized me and was just going to scare the life out of me, you see, which somebody was doing. But it wasn't my cousin. I got out of the car and I said, yes, sir. And he said, you were going a little fast. And I said, well, I'm afraid. And he said, afraid of what? Well, I said, I just don't like driving across the city by myself at night. And he didn't give me a ticket. He just said, well, why don't you get a gun?
Well, she kept speeding up, and he kept following her. See? She said, if I'd known the police were behind me, I'd have slowed down.
Yeah, I didn't know I was so well protected, you know. If I'd known he was there, I'd have relaxed a lot. But that was the end of the car, and we dealt it in on a little Plymouth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A green
Well, your dad,
two-door.
Your dad wanted to get rid of the truck. He didn't want it anymore, and he couldn't get a good price for it. So he asked us if we wanted to buy a car, and because the other one was giving us trouble. So we said, yeah. Well, he said, I'll tell you. I'll make a deal with you. I can get more in a trade-in.
Right.
As a trade-in than what I can get in another one, and as you then can pay me for the car.
Right.
So we had got, between us, had contracted to buy a new car and hadn't even got married yet.
This was before we were married.
So anyway, we got it paid off.
And I'm telling you, that raised a lot of eyebrows.
I'm
To
gonna
think we'd go in on buying a car and we weren't even married. And of course we weren't living together because we
No,
wouldn't
no.
do that, so. Anyway, so we got that green car and you lent it to your brother one night,
That was a year later.
yeah? And
He
what
wanted
happened?
to go to a dance over in Metro, and he came back and just going in the north end of Exeter, hit some ice and rolled it. He was very lucky. He rolled it and flattened the top. It rolled over, and you know how the radiator slopes up, or not the radiator, but the windshield slopes up.
Yeah.
And behind the windshield, it was flattened right down to the top of the seats.
Oh,
So it
jeez.
went down. But what happened was the car had turned crossways,
Yeah.
and there was a little ditch in there. Well, that took the windshield, and it just fit in there and up the other way.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't broken, but the rest of it was flat.
Yeah, he wasn't hurt
He wasn't hurt.
at all.
It wasn't hurt
He's
at
a
all.
lucky guy.
He was lucky.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That did things to our insurance policy, didn't it?
well, not a great deal in those days. It didn't push it up at all.
No, but didn't Walvanesa think they didn't want us anymore?
I forget.
They just had us for a year. They didn't want us anymore, so we had to find another one. And you by this time had gotten into the Masonic Lodge and knew Len Ewer.
Yeah.
And Len Ewer in the city was an insurance man. He said, sure, Murray, just come and fix you up. So from then on, we were fixed. I keep looking at my finger because I think my volleyball and soccer today has done something
So
to this finger.
but
Yeah, it's sore.
anyway, that's basically what happened. Of course, the next year we were married.
Yeah.
So Doug rolled the car before he got married.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And the insurance paid for a new one.
No, we just had it fixed.
Oh, you had it.
We had it all fixed.
But we sold it.
Well,
Right.
we did sell it then. See, that was what, a 53?
Yeah.
And 2 years later we bought that 55, remember the...
Oh, was it a smart car?
It was the first hard tops out.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. It was
Yeah.
a black. It was a Plymouth. We traded it in. And it was a black one. And I had a stripe up the side and down the back, which was turquoise. And then it had the top. Of course, there was a hard top on it. And it was all open. You could open all the windows. And then it was turquoise. Black and turquoise with white wall tires.
And the upholstery. No,
Upholstery was leather.
And the ceiling was white. And your dad had so much hair at that time
Right.
that it dirtied
And
the.
it
discolored
was
the
a little bit
ceiling.
low, and
Right.
it just didn't rub it. It
Yeah.
just touched
Right,
it, and
right.
it got a big black spot up there.
That was a pretty nice car. Well, then
Well, then that's when we got into the grass seed business, and we
Yeah.
traded it in, and 2 years later, 2 years later, for the station
station
wagon.
wagon.
Oh,
Station
okay.
And then we were in station wagons for years.
Mm-hmm.
You
Still got
remember
one.
that? Yeah.
Still got one, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like I feel like I'm with minivans. This is my first, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be in minivans for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I have a little van. You know my little minivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just love it. And but none of my friends can step up into it. You know. And of course, you see, your mother has the fitness, and your dad too, of a 50-year-old.
Yes. You're going to have to get one of those little wheelchair things for all your friends to hold them on the board.
And then slide off, and transfer you in.
Get them off. Roll them off at the end. Slow
Oh.
down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Should we tell them about our first house? The duplex.
Duplex, you want to go into all that right now?
Well,
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
tired and I want to go to bed.
Yeah, well.
So why don't we wrap it up
yeah.
here? But I want to find out about the new house. I want to hear more about the Copeland homestead. too.
Yes, I'm not sure I have all the history that,
Right.
I don't think we were a historical people, you know, we
Right.
just sort of,
You know, how did Grandpa end
Day
up with
to
the
day.
land and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff? That
yeah.
way.
Gee, we've never really heard that, have we? Just a matter of routine, I think.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't the first settler on it, was he?
oh, no,
So
That
I'll be
was-
interested to find
yeah.
out about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who built it?
Oh, it was a John somebody or other.
Is the house still standing now?
Oh, yes, it is, and the barn is, because it was all metal put around the outside,
Right.
so the wood
The
is
grass seed
still
was there, so it never got water, never got into decay it.
to decay the
So Grandpa metal clad it. He put the
Well, we
metal
put
around.
that on the grass
well,
seed
he
bed.
did for the grass
for the
seed,
grass seed, right?
but not for the farm
Not for the
as a farm,
Right.
was it done, no.
As you said, pretty progressive guy.
Oh, he was, you betcha.
We worked hard, like we'd started the grass seed for the first of the year. Got that out of the wind, and we decided to clad the whole building and make sure the foundations and the beams would carry the weight we were going to put on top of it with all the grass seed out there.
And Grandpa got into that because what? Because of his health?
Yeah, he came down with diabetes. At what age? He was well up in his 50s, I guess.
So he got stage
And,
type
yeah.
2.
And so he...
Okay, so that
And of
was,
course Uncle Merv had died, so we hadn't had him for years. He died in 43. And Dad then helped Aunt Myrtle and
Sister-in-law.
yeah, his sister-in-law. And Glenn was the boy, cousin of my a little bit older than I, just a few months older.
And Jean were on,
Jean was the older one there, and
on the
she's 2
farm.
years
They
older.
had the farm down there, and
Yeah.
they tried to run it, and Lawrence helped them till they got going. Glenn got on his own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Uncle Merv died from a heart attack. He went skating time and time again at Kirkton skating rink outdoors. And this one night he picked me up, and Glenn and Jean, I guess his own children, and away we went, and he was skating around, and he dropped to the ice. And that was the end of it,
Oh, jeez.
right there.
How'd you feel about that? Seeing your uncle just die
Oh,
right there.
well, of course we didn't know. We kept thinking that he was just bumped his head and he was going to get better. Till we got home and then realized.
So did the ambulance come for him, or
No,
was
there wasn't
There was
such
no
a thing as an
ambulance in those
ambulance.
Oh no.
There was a doctor though in
Yeah.
Kirkton, so he came and pronounced him dead. I imagine
Yeah.
that's all that there was to it.
So he just dropped to the ice, and you guys
Yeah.
obviously went over to look after him or to see what was going on.
Well, I didn't happen to be close to him. I guess I was standing at the end, and he was up along the side or near the end, and I saw them take him in, and I didn't. No, I wasn't there looking at him after he dropped or anything like that.
And then so they kind of got him into a car or something back to his house. And
Well, they kept him in the men's side of the building, small
Yeah.
building that we were all in, because this was outdoors.
yeah,
And so you kept going in to get warm, and
Right.
it was the men's side dressing rooms, you see. And so they kept him in there, and I guess and so I would go to the door, and I wouldn't hear too much, and I guess I sort of realized that may be what it was, but forget who took us home. Because somebody had to take home his car, and his daughter and son, and me.
Myrtle never drove, did she?
No.
My wife never drove a car. Well, how old were you at that time?
I was 13.
So that means Glenn couldn't drive. The only one who could drive might be Jean.
Yes, I think Jean had to learn how to drive in a hurry.
so she was 15 when her father died.
Yeah. But her birthday came in August. So you see, she could get going then.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it was a shock. Well, then my dad died when my brother was how old?
Well, he died in
63?
61, 62. I never can remember which year it was. But anyway, my brother he was just in his teens.
Yeah.
And that was a real shock to him because he had been living high on the hog with Dad there.
Yeah.
Dad was flying and he was,
Sounds like he had a lot of fun with his dad.
no.
Well, I don't know.
No.
didn't.
Dad was disappointed.
Dad had wanted a boy, and finally the boy came, and then Mother had to be so protective of him, and I don't know.
Then the first thing that disappeared was the thumb.
Right.
Yeah, well, Dad got a new motor lawnmower, you see,
Right.
and crazy, they should have been supervising that boy and said, you don't run it.
Hmm.
But he was a bit of a show-off, and he wanted to show off, and then he made a grab for it, you see.
Something went through the lawnmower and he made a grab for it and took the thumb.
Well, the lawnmower, he got out around the roots. We had these great big trees on our front
Yep.
lawn. And of course, the earth always sinks away and the roots come up like,
Yep.
you know. And he ran the lawnmower too close to one of them and it tipped it over and he grabbed it as it went over and lost his thumb. And I don't think Murray ever really got over that because nobody knew how to counsel anybody and we've come a long way as far as that goes, you know. And then Mother, she just sort of,
Went to pieces.
well, I think she figured that they were so guilty, and so then she wouldn't deny Murray anything, and then Murray began to use it. You see, and
Guess I haven't emailed him for a while,
So
have I?
he was,
He's got a new
Yeah.
email address.
has he given it to you? No.
He's with.
I don't know whether he's well or not. He had a heart attack about the time Uncle Reg died. And,
Where is he now?
well, he
Oh,
spends, he's in
yeah.
British Columbia in the summertime. Surrey was where he was last year.
Yeah, is he going to be back?
And he has an address there. He'll be back in April.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to be back even before that. He'll be back. You know,
Well,
they're
he's
almost
gonna be
now.
back in April. He'll come back through Calgary, so I wonder if he'll stop. Probably not.
No, he comes straight up the coast. Across the bottom
Oh
of the
yeah,
Straits
he's
and
always
straight
in
up.
Texas. He's not heading for Ontario.
Oh,
He
I
hasn't been in
see.
Ontario in years.
Oh,
But-
He's planning on coming back around. See, he didn't even come back for our 50th wedding anniversary.
He didn't even come for that.
That's right. No, he didn't.
No. And he, I don't know. He was such a good, he was, well, as far as teaching, I don't think he was in the right place there. But when he got into the resources, you know, such as television in the classroom and the libraries, the new libraries, and the all the video things that went after it, you know, he was really in his glory, and he was doing an excellent job. And from what I could see with the London board and with what I was hearing from him in the county board, he was doing well, better than our London
Way
board
ahead.
was. And then along came a teacher strike. And I still feel that it just turned him around. He was supposed to be one of the leaders of the teachers out on the. And I think it just worked him. He.
We couldn't get over the fact that it didn't go through. It was voted down
What
Yeah.
was voted down? You mean?
by their own people.
Oh.
The board had passed, like they negotiated it out, they
Right.
come to a deal, and they were voting on it.
Mhm.
And the board, these people accepted it, like the teachers accepted it, and he didn't want it, they figured they should.
Well, this was after though the province had taken over the schools, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Right.
And so, of course, he got this great hatred of Harris. But,
Oh, it's actually before that.
yeah, one thing about Murray, you know, he can just take on something against somebody and he will never change. And so then it seemed to me that he didn't retire, he just ran.
Right.
And I think he's been running ever since. And then he sold his house, and you know, that house I felt he really enjoyed so much there on the river.
Yeah.
And he sold it as if it didn't mean anything to him anymore. Well, after he and Mary broke up, she got what was in the house and he got the house. I think that was how they worked it. And well, of course, he had nothing in the house. I went to visit him one day,
Right.
and there was nothing there.
I think he was a little bitter over that.
And
Basically, she moved in with him,
Yeah.
with everything. She brought something, but she didn't contribute a lot.
anyway, I don't know how they handled their monies, because they should have done very well with the two of them. But anyway, he decided he got this package deal, and he took it,
Right.
and he retired in his 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or was it earlier?
Well, you were in your 50s.
I was 58. Yeah, but he must have been about 52 or 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're all
I see.
retiring at 52, 54.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you see, I had a family and a church and a community, and I just went on working at things like that, and but he had nothing, and so he just said, well, he'd always wanted to travel, and he never liked to come home, and that was the part that concerned me, because your dad and I traveled, but we're always happy about coming home.
Right.
And he never was. He hated to come home. Well, then he bought his trailer and he took off with the dog and he is so tight. I don't know what money he has. I can't see how he's living so cheaply unless he's starving himself.
Right.
And he is quite thin. But I mean, food is not cheap in the States.
No.
You're not getting anything for nothing over there. And
Yeah, but he should still have lots left over after that.
well, he
Oh, yeah.
should have.
With his wages and
Oh, he doesn't
His
have
expenses?
huge expenses. I mean,
No,
gas for the motorhome.
yeah. Well, he had to buy a new one because the really nice places were not accepting anybody who had a vehicle.
one would degrade the property.
Well, yeah,
Put
they,
it bluntly.
they said it would pollute. You see, it would leak oil or
Right.
something or other, and it would pollute. And I don't blame them if they want to have a good quality place. They need to enforce a few things. So.
Right. Well, let's call it a night.
Yeah.
We'll
What time is
pick it up
it?
tomorrow.
It's
It's
10
10.
to 10.
No, 3 after 10.
Oh, yeah.